online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Waiting for tonight, oh, when you will be here in my arms, waiting for tonight.
This is definitely one of her best songs. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to AfterBuzz. We are recapping the Shades of Blue series on NBC, episode number 10, titled What Devil Do. Thank you so much for watching. I'm your host, Brandon Marlo. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at BAMARLO.
I'm Samantha Benitz. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Samantha_Benitz.
I'm Miera Jennings. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Miera Jennings.
Hi, I'm Erica Jaye Green. You can find me on all social media, Erica Jaye Green. Green.
Okay. I'd like to do that for her. I'm Erica Jaye Green. You can follow me on all social medias at Erica Jaye Green. You're welcome. I gotta get that plug for you, girl. Okay, guys. So this week we're gonna do a rapid recap because we're a little short on time here in the studio. We spent so much time talking about the show before we actually started that we got to get going. So let's get right into a recap of last week's episode so we know where we left off.
Yes, so a quick refresh of last week. Two unidentified men show up with a package for Waz and Harlee, and it turns out to be a kidnapped man who we later find out that his wife is being forced to help out with this bigger operation.
A whole different kind of package, if you will.
Yes, thank you, Brandon. Always there with a little, thank you.
Keeping it interesting.
Anyway, Waz finally tells Harlee that Pomp, or Donnie, is the head of, well, from what he understands, the head of the operation. So now she's in on that information. And Stahl and Waz investigate the security company separately, but almost run into each other, which could have been a huge, huge problem. So luckily that did not happen. And they find out that, like I said, the wife is being forced to participate in this bigger operation. They find out that the job is actually going to be an armored car heist. That's pretty huge, so I don't even know how that's going to go down. Also, there's a whole situation where Tufo finds out that Saperstein was helping out this man who was kind of selling, I don't know, pharmaceuticals or something, I don't know, healthcare to people who didn't have the means, money,
low-income
insurance.
areas.
Yes,
right.
So we find out, all of them have their secrets going on, and Saperstein was a pretty good guy, and he was doing what he thought was right, so that's good. Tufo decides to take that over for him. And finally, we see that Waz and Pomp, they have a confrontation in an office that ends up leading to Harlee discovering about their affair because she leaves her wire in the office so they can overhear the argument. And she finds out that he's cheating on his wife, Linda, with Donnie. So that's a huge revelation. And last but not least, Molly Chen sticks her nose where it does not belong, even though Molly Chen's my girl. I'm sorry. I gotta say this. She sticks her nose where it doesn't belong, and Miguel Zepeda is exonerated, and he's released and free and out.
Free at last.
Free at last, people. So that's where we left off.
Okay, that was a full episode last week. This one I didn't feel like quite as much happened.
Right.
But we aren't the only ones who are talking about it. Someone online left a really good comment that had to be edited down for time. I'm sorry, I had to take a few things out of there, but why don't we hear from one of our listeners?
Okay, after a semi-sleepless night, my official verdict for NBC's Shades of Blue is in. I feel better now that Wazzy has survived to fight another day. I feel a sense of shame of this because Lieutenant Wozniak is, putting it mildly, a sleazoid, murderer, and a corrupt cop and a cheat who cheats on his wife and boyfriend alike.
Accurate
Don't forget
account.
the boyfriend. The scene of Waz in the cemetery on the ground, lying on his back, shook me to the core as I was witnessing in his real life. Here he was, this cold-blooded murderer of poor sap, and the Thoros, I guess she said, in such grief that I expected him to actually call him to the grave next to the victim. I don't think he was in that much grief, but I just wanted to put that in there, atone for his crime. For now, at least, I can say that Shades of Blue is is this one heck of a thought-provoking show. I agree with that because I wanted to see this episode this week. I was really excited. I was like, ooh, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like this is the one episode where they had to just write something to get it to the next episode. Because there was so much in the last episode. They needed to spread it out because they only have a few episodes left in the season. So this one, I feel like not a lot happened that was maybe impactful, but a little bit more with the characters.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, we see Harlee being a ho-ho, you know, with the little kiss, using her girl goods to get what she wants. Again, but I'm not going to say anything. Y'all, Team J-Lo all the way.
Bum kisser alert.
Come for me.
Bum kisser alert.
Girl, if you got them, give them. Now, okay, we do see some different interactions in this one. One of the big ones I thought was the ADA, because it's kind of like a really big scene, even though he's not around for very much, because he's the one calling to let Harlee know that Miguel is out. She sees him at the station, you know, she kind of goes after him looking, I think, hopeful it's not him, and then the ADA is the one who has to break the news, who we see in past episodes has kind of been there for her and then removed himself after he was more or less reprimanded for
His involvement.
Right, actual involvement with her. So it's kind of interesting that they put him in the position to give her that news. What do you guys think?
I thought the same thing, and it was crazy that he left her the voicemail, since clearly he wanted to tell her in person. He went to the station and he's trying to find her, and of course Tufo says, oh yeah, everybody looks for her in person. So you can see that she's got her sources going on.
She's a hot commodity.
Yeah, everybody wants to talk to Harlee, so that's just another day for her. But I do think it's interesting that he cares enough to let her know, given that he kind of sees she uses her girl goods when, you know, the going gets tough.
And just going off of that, I thought it was interesting later on that Stahl kind of used that to his advantage when he was leading to the fact that, oh, well, maybe Nava was the one who was behind Miguel being released, because Harlee doesn't know what happened. And Stahl didn't tell Harlee that Molly was behind it, which I don't know why he did not do that. This man frustrates me, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if Harlee fully trusts Nava now. I don't know what she's thinking, because she has no idea how he got released.
Yeah, I think she's kind of distrusting Stahl too, since he's been saying, oh, everything's gonna be okay as long as you work with me, I've got your back, you're gonna be covered, and then all these things are kind of unraveling, and she keeps trying to say, okay, well, now I'm gonna need immunity for my crew, I'm gonna need other factors into the final decision.
Do y'all think he actually called it made that call? I think he just went in there.
I thought that was fake too.
Exactly. That's all I was
I didn't catch that.
Because he's, I mean, hi. So,
Stall. Like,
all right, we got it, but we need full immunity. What do I have to do? Like,
I was like, okay, he's faking to get the panties.
okay.
Stop.
But I mean, who knows?
No,
She said
know.
yes.
Okay, great. Can I get you a drink? We're good to go.
I'm so disgusted by that kiss. I'm sorry.
Not me. I'm suddenly into Stahl.
Brandon's a freaking
I do.
shaker.
I just like a love connection. I don't care who it's with. I want to see
Do
her
you
with someone.
think that's going to lead to more?
I don't know. Okay, this is my thing.
Because I think Harlee was kind of into it at first.
Right.
And that's the part that I didn't like. Because I think
it.
she was kind of, feeling it before she pushed him off.
The only thing that's going to hurt the potential of that is that he seems obsessed with her.
Yeah.
And I think that's really the only thing. I think if he was bad cop, now turning good, or good cop who was playing bad, I think there would have been more potential. But because he is on her, like, it's just not normal. Whereas with the ADA, it seemed a little bit more natural. Well, now he's kind of out of the picture too, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But we're gonna see. Maybe her and Miguel
Or that new cop.
making
He
a love
was kinda
connection.
fun. That
new cop,
came in the alleyway during the murder scene.
Oh, yeah.
What is going on with that whole? I wonder how that's connected with everything going on with the murder, with the
veteran?
Ross trying to get the veteran off and
It
stuff.
definitely is.
I did kind of.
Well, I think they introduce these characters because we have to have separate storylines.
Right.
Every week, the same thing with the doctor from the last episode. I don't know that we're really going to see these characters making
they
repeat
tied it.
appearances.
I think
They
we
tied
will this
these.
time.
They tied that storyline with what's going on with what the whole plan that they're doing. Because they had what's his name, Joaquin.
Well,
come out
yeah,
there.
so first of all, Waz is on the phone with Donnie, and they're discussing this situation, and Donnie mentions, and I don't remember the details, but he mentions something about that he shouldn't know because Waz didn't tell him. Then he hangs up and makes a weird face. Later on, we see that Joaquin, who is Donnie's nephew, who's involved in the bigger operation, is actually in that sex club thing. I don't know what that was, Kinky Boots, devil place.
Exactly.
And he's leaving as Tufo and Loman are going in, and they find the devil, who the guy, Moses said that he saw hanging. He's dead. Yeah. So I'm sure that has to tie into the bigger operation somehow.
And remember, Donnie was pressing Waz about questions when he originally came. You know, he was supposed to come and ask him about, are we going to continue with the heist? And he started asking him questions about the whole thing.
About that,
How do you, like, what does that have to do
I'd be
with it?
surprised if they didn't go further with that because they just made it so apparent.
Yeah, he walked out real discreet past Tufo, and so it was an interesting scene to see him be a part of that. And I do think that they're all in this mission together, considering we saw Donnie, the DEA, you know, now Harlee's involved, which is going to make it a little bit different. Since I can't really tell if she wants to help or like run away with the money for a second.
This was an interesting episode for that.
But I think her, you know, future is more important than the money. I think she's just kind of playing along right now since she's this far in, and then she's gonna have to bow out later when it.
But they did tease that she was putting some of the money in a bag.
Yeah, I know. She looked a little stressed. A little sweat dripping down the side of her.
I can't wait to see next week's episode.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow.
I hope we see her working for the FBI. Like, I hope that she is not rewarded in a sense, but I hope she's transitioned into working for the FBI as like a member of their payroll, not as an informant, because I think that could be a really interesting way to kind of progress her outside of this rat scenario that they have her in.
The reason why I don't agree with you on that, for the simple fact, for you to talk your crew, and this is before you even thought that they would get excused for all of this, to talk them into doing this, and you're supposed to care about them so much. I'm like, I'm through with her. She's so about herself.
That's what I was
and her daughter,
yeah.
just me and my daughter. You're not the only ones in this world right now. There's other lives that are going to be seriously, dramatically affected. Don't some of them have children too?
Right.
Yeah. Some like
families,
I'm done with
because
her.
she had a chance to
be like,
talk
hey guys,
him out of it.
Exactly.
And even before that, when she was talking to Waz,
well,
Waz was thinking about, oh well, maybe it's not worth it. I don't have all the information. And she kind of talks him into it again, you know?
She should be held more liable to.
Well, because they need the bust.
Well,
so
right.
But still.
But it's like, you're giving up your family, of partners for your daughter and your future. But that
really
doesn't really have to
livelihood.
happen. Yeah. I don't know. It's sticky.
Okay,
it was weird too that everybody was okay with it. I'm like, wow, Tufo, Tess, Espada, everybody was like 600,000 tomorrow for 3 hours. We're in.
That's before taxes. So I mean, if it's tax free, it's a lot more than what we're gonna be making.
Sure it's tax free.
Right.
Still, that's not enough.
So okay.
I don't know from personal experience, but
that time I robbed a bank, I didn't pay taxes on it. So. Sitting under my mattress. No, okay, so one of the big points of this episode was Miguel getting out. We see a little bit of interaction with him and Christina, which we'll get to. But the other interaction that really kind of drove this episode was Waz, Pomp, and Linklater. I can't get this last name.
That made-up name that they just...
He definitely made that up. That was like Kilgrave.
He was looking at two things.
That was his Kilgrave.
Jessica Jones.
Linklater. Whatever it was. The Mister from the stall. So we find out that he's a DEA agent. He's the one orchestrating this, whatever you'd call it at this point, this operation. That the money is the DEA's money essentially. I don't know if he is apprehended at some point and now he's trying to get back. It wasn't very clear how it's his money.
No. It's DEA's money that they confiscated from like Heist. But he's saying it's his money because he's a DEA.
That's what I meant.
But that's still not your money.
Right. Is that he has apprehended this money at some point.
So he thinks he deserves it.
Right. And so it's $12 million that they first want to give $1 million to Waz and his crew, and then Waz, stands his ground and says, we're the ones putting ourselves at risk. It's either a split evenly or we're not going to do it.
Right.
And this was interesting to me only because that still is not a lot of money. And to put that sort of risk in there, it just doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. It should have been more like $50 million. I feel like the risk should have been worth the reward, and I feel like it doesn't quite.
You're stealing from the government. I hear what you're saying, and you're government officials. This is crazy. This government, please pay your people more, because this is the stuff
they feel like they need to steal, not getting paid enough.
Gosh.
But no, and also it was like a huge red flag for me that the guy, Link, whatever his name is, he was so so quick to say yes. That's fishy.
Well,
that's fishy.
There is some stuff going on, and I don't think we'll know until the next episode. So we're gonna kind of breeze by this one because there's not a lot of development. We don't really know what Pomp's relationship is, other than him being the uncle of Miguel and Joaquin, thank you. And the whole situation was just a little strange and tense in the barn. So I still don't know how all these people play in, and they didn't give us much to this episode. So hopefully next episode we'll know a little bit more with who's really running the show, because in that elevator scene with Pomp,
that was weird.
I couldn't figure out what was going on there. He must have more stake in this than we think.
I agree, and especially with the comment that Waz said as far as Donnie's daddy wants to see if we can get our hands dirty. So, regarding the whole heist with J-Lo where they saw the guy kidnapped in the armored car. So, yeah, they've clearly got a lot going on, and he's not to be trusted. And it's crazy to me at this point that Donnie doesn't see all these red flags as a huge sign to jump ship, especially after there's a rat in the crew, Sap died. It's like, slow your roll for a little.
Not Donnie. Waz doesn't see the red flags. So I think Donnie
I'm sorry, that's what I meant, of course. Yeah, so.
Well, then the other main point of this episode was Miguel getting out. So we see Harlee trying to keep Miguel away from Christina, Miguel going to Christina, and him confronting her about actually being her father. Now, I'm very interested to see. The other thing with these types of shows is it's a lot of time lapsing. So he comes to the apartment, tries talking to her, then she's on the bed sorting these letters that, Miguel has sent in bulk for the last 10 years. And then
he comes back.
Right. And then, we have Christina having to come to Jesus with J-Lo, Miguel having come to Jesus with J-Lo on the phone about him being her father. And then Christina then kind of just ignoring her mother's interest in keeping her safe and going out to talk to him. It was very bizarre.
Why would you have even answered the door? She needs a butt whipping. My mama would have spanked us for opening the door. What did I tell you?
Well, and it kept buzzing, and you know who it is.
And he's dangerous. You know he beat your mama. What? Wait, Christina, look out for your mom.
But she's reacting off of anger and sadness. I mean, she just found out that her mom lied about such a huge thing.
Right.
She told her that he is not her father, and she basically just...
Who hasn't been lied about their father? No,
I still don't know who mine is, Mom. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm playing.
No, but it is an interesting point because we see an escalation of their relationship very quickly. Are you okay? Do you need a sip of water? Girl, you're laughing at your own joke. I'm real silly right now.
I'm sorry. I'm done.
Do you want to say it one more time in case someone missed it at home? No, but that's the only thing I don't like with these types of shows is that they try and pump that relationship really quick, as we've seen with everything besides Tess and Joe, who they took 8 episodes to bring them around. But it just doesn't make sense to me that your mother's the only person you've been able to trust for your entire life, and then you're going to go against what she says because a strange man is at the door claiming to be your dad.
Yeah.
Right. It's all about the curiosity to me. I think she's just like, who is this man? He's written me all these letters. He's so interested in coming here. He has something to say to me. It's kind of like that.
She like, he fine.
Yeah.
She's like, daddy kind of fine.
Oh my God.
Was that nasty?
Yeah, she opened
on next season of Insane Shades of Blue.
What in the world are we talking about?
This cute guy right here. You might not be my
but then going outside to talk to him, that's really what got me. I go, now you're putting yourself in a position where you could potentially get hurt if he's not changed. And when we had Antonio Hermela here, he said that he really thinks that relationship is going to build and be a positive one. And I think that it can be, but I think the one thing that's going to set him back is him finding out the reason he was exonerated and released from prison.
Yeah, and furthermore, they're separated because Harlee doesn't want Miguel talking to his daughter Christina, and then it's on both sides. So he went against Harlee's wishes and then does that whole little secret phone call where she finds out, she's just a fragile little girl. She can't handle this information, and you see Christina's eyes well up immediately. So to me, it's like, since they've already had that divide and he wants to stop at nothing to talk to his daughter, and he does seem like he has truth behind his words. I think
his relationship with her, there's positive intent behind it.
Right.
I don't know that will stay the same because I think he'll be so kind of overcome with anger when he finds out Harlee's role. So I don't know if we're going to see that relationship kind of fall to the wayside, but They only have a few episodes left to kind of tie up some of those loose ends.
I know what's gonna happen.
I'm sure we're gonna see a lot of Harlee's lies coming back on her.
Yes.
A lot of her deceitfulness, and I'm sorry. About time. Them tables sure do turn.
They
and
do.
I'm waiting for her to
They
get
do.
what she's, because it's just been kind of been about her the whole time. You know, keeping my family protected. What about the other families? You know, I got to get my business. You know, it's just, you know,
Yeah.
I'm ready to see
It's a dirty job.
Yes.
Yeah, and the conversation between Waz and Harlee at the table where she's like, what if, you know, Miguel figures out that we framed him? So clearly there was foul play here and it's going to come out. I mean, everything comes out.
And
in
plus,
this
if
show.
Stahl finds out that Harlee was in on it, because right now he just thinks
he
it's
does?
Waz. So that's a whole nother story right there. So
Well,
they
that
can go
kiss
so
may
many
help for
ways.
more reasons than one
I
then.
know. She knows what she's doing right there. For sure.
Yeah, she looked
That
like
was
she
gross.
was like, all right, I'll do this. And then afterwards, she had the face of, what did I just do?
Show
Right?
your breath.
Fish oil.
What'd you eat today? Salty. But sweet.
And then when he came back out there with the drink comment, I was like, ooh.
That man is a
Don't you
great.
hate when guys do that?
That
You know
man-
they trying to get you drunk. Yeah, so they can get
That is
in
a shame. It's like, no.
Yeah, I'm good. Not cursing.
You can't get me drunk enough to sleep with you.
Not Stahl. ADA.
Hey, he's
I'll have one
Summer,
too.
right?
Okay, so we hit, I think, the main points, and I said this
Right.
was going to be a really quick recap, and I'm sorry, guys, but we spent too much time talking about it before we actually talked about it. Miguel coming out, Christina,
Right.
and then we have DEA, Pump, Waz, and Linklater, Lancaster, Lambda Damda.
Lamborghini.
Lamborghini. Good old Lamborghini. But again, this episode, there wasn't a whole lot going
wasn't.
on, but it is setting up for the next episode. So what do you guys think we're going to see based on the prediction for next episode? I know you said that she might be taking some of that money
I saw her.
because she's stressed. But the preview for the next episode, it shows a lot of quick things happening. It shows Harlee getting a little loving. We don't know who it's from. Dark lighting, so I'm assuming Stahl, because she's like, put those dimmers on.
Wait.
All right. Okay, so let's get into some predictions. What do you think is going to happen?
And now, your AfterBuzz TV.
I'm thinking they're going to do the heist after all, clearly. And then I do feel that Stahl is going to have things set up where they're going to bust it. And I don't know who they're going to get or how they're just going to catch Waz potentially in the act. But I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of this season, if Waz is in prison and Miguel is out, and it's going to be a flip scenario.
Waz ain't gonna be in prison.
I don't know. I
Come
mean,
on.
he might, but then he could do a lot of work, you know, behind bars. People do it. It's not unheard of. I mean,
Yeah.
they can use their connections. So, I mean, that may not be this season, but I do think that could be in store for
Crazy.
season
I just
2.
don't realize that though. This is one season and they've already like.
Established
I
season.
know.
They're wrapping some stuff up.
Yeah.
I wonder how season 2 is gonna even.
I
kick
can't
off.
Oh, it's going to be
imagine.
crazy.
Okay, what about you, Mira? What
Well,
are you thinking?
first of all, I just remembered how the season began. And when Harlee was talking into her computer or whatever, she was
Right.
making that video talking to someone. So now I'm thinking something's going to go wrong for her. And she's going to have to leave this video. I don't know if it's for Christina. I don't know if it's for...
Ooh, it sounds like it could be for Christina.
You know,
she said
'cause
I'm in too deep.
Something's going to go wrong with Harlee for sure. So I don't think she's in the clear at all. And secondly, I think Loman...
I was gonna say that Loman. Oh, fuck
Oh, Loman, why Loman? I don't know what he's doing at that
The
heist.
trash can was great.
I don't know why he's hiding
Duck
there,
and
but he
cover.
should have stayed home. And just going off of that, I was reading Dayo Okani who plays Loman, he had a little Q&A thing on Facebook earlier for the episode, or for the whole season. And someone asked him, you know, oh, I feel really bad for Loman's character. Are we going to see more of him? And he answered, you know, don't feel bad yet. His story's just beginning. It really makes me think, what is he going to do wrong that's going to mess this whole thing up in these last 3 episodes? So that's what I'm looking forward to. I think he's going to do something wrong.
That's interesting. I don't know why I had this thought. I can either see Loman turn around and be like, I got y'all, I'll work with them. And,
Right.
and I can see that happening. Or
yes.
then him ending up being planted within the precinct if they continue his storyline within season 2.
Something for
I can
sure.
see if that's what you were saying.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
him
yeah.
saying his story has just begun. But his punk ass Chauncey, that's what we're going to call Loman. Punk ass Chauncey. Hiding behind a thing. Talking about, he was like, oh, this is getting
I'm
too
not
deep.
wearing Kevlar on my head.
Like, y'all didn't pay me for this.
I think he chose the wrong
This is
career.
not in the deal.
And that's what I'm talking about. Where Harlee, you gonna leave all the sheep to the slaughter? Really?
I don't think, this is my prediction, I don't think anything's going to happen.
Next,
I think this
You
season
think
is
they're
going to...
fooling us?
Set up one.
I think this season is going to end with nothing happening.
Wow.
Because it seems like too much too soon
Yeah.
It is a
to
lot,
wrap the
yeah.
season up with. And if everyone gets busted, what happens in season 2?
Exactly.
So I think that they're going to go for the bust. I think that Waz is going to realize what's going on. I think he's going to retreat. So I think that we see, based on the preview, I think we see Harlee going in to get some of the money as like evidence or something. I think that she has to get in there because Stahl's telling her one thing, Watts is telling her another.
Right.
And
like that.
It seems that would be the more rational situation. And if it's not, I'd be happy to write for the show. You can follow me on Twitter. But it just seems like it'd be a little too much to pump into the first
that makes
season.
sense.
Where do we go?
Yeah, and
that
plus,
makes
I don't know if Harlee I don't know if she has really made up her mind
Yeah.
if
About
like
which man she's going to be with. That's right.
about that, yes,
What
or
side
if
she-
she, if she really wants to go after Waz. I mean, I actually found myself feeling good things about Waz this episode, and when he was trying to help the Marine veteran, and I mean, I know he was a Marine too, but I actually, I felt for him. I thought this guy has a heart, so.
Well, you're falling for Waz, but someone else is falling for Jennifer Lopez. So let's talk about that. And
Let's
news
talk
and gossip.
about it.
All right. So, of course, newly single Ben Affleck apparently is interested in rekindling the Bennifer romance. According to HollywoodLife.com, he's been sending her some flirty texts. Of course, he's divorced from Jennifer Garner.
He's mid-divorce. So he's not yet divorced.
Divorcing, let's say it that way. But, J-Lo's got a full plate of her own. Of course, she announced last week that she's returning to Epic Records, which is the label where she made her huge hit album in 2001 titled J-Lo, which is super cool. So going back to her roots there. And, of course, tonight's also the top 6 performances for the farewell season of American Idol. So it's getting near the end for the final contestants. And Ray Liotta can be seen looking rough and rugged in an 1800 tequila ad. So go check it out on his Instagram.
That is some good gossip.
He cleans
yeah.
up well. Actually,
He
in ads,
does.
he cleans up.
The only thing
well.
I
He's a
care
handsome
about from
man.
any of that is her and Ben Affleck. Truly, that is. She spoke about it. She spoke about it on a Watch What Happens live episode with Andy Cohen, saying that was her first real true love and heartbreak.
Really?
Yes, and
Wait, that was after Diddy.
She didn't love
What
Diddy.
about
Diddy?
Diddy loved her.
up.
Diddy loved her.
I
more,
know.
though.
He bought both of them cars.
Yes.
Ben Affleck and Jennifer.
Did he buy her that white bandana?
Yeah, probably.
Probably. It was a horrible outfit change.
Oh my God.
But I hope that her and Ben Affleck can rekindle their. I mean, how easy would that be? He doesn't even have to remember another woman's name. He goes
Casper's
from
gonna
one
get
Jennifer
you.
to the next.
Casper is gonna get you.
I know. I think Casper's cute too, though. I'd be
Yeah.
happy for whatever makes you happy, girl. You do you.
I'll save my judgment after I see this Batman.
If he's good in the movie,
girl, yes, I
you
already got
can
my
have
ticket.
him.
Until I see his performance in this Batman Superman. I'm gonna
All right, you won't want to miss next week's episode, but there's something else you should mark your calendars for. Because starting Thursday, March 24th on ABC, it's the series premiere of TGIT's twisty new drama, The Catch.
From the executive producers of Grey's Anatomy, Scandal, and How to Get Away with Murder comes the story of a private investigator and a con man who are never supposed to fall in love.
The Catch stars The Killings' Mireille Enos and Parenthood's Peter Krause.
Enos plays LA's top PI, one woman you don't want to mess with. So when her fiance, played by Krause, takes her for millions and disappears, she will stop at nothing to catch her man. Game on.
And as her hunt begins, it quickly turns into an intoxicating game of cat and mouse. Think of it as a Romeo and Juliet kind of love set in the sexy, seductive world of James Bond.
Shaken, not stirred. You'll want to grab some red wine, get your Twitter fingers ready, and settle in for TGIT's seductive new series, The Catch, premiering Thursday, March 24th at 10/9 Central, only on ABC.
I'm interested in
That
that.
sounds
If
pretty
it's
cool.
coming from the executive producers of How to Get Away with Murder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll watch
Hello.
it. You guys should too. And don't forget to watch us on YouTube, download us on iTunes, rate, subscribe. Please leave comments. We do read all of those. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. Again, I'm your host, Brandon Marlo. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at BAMARLO.
And once again, I'm Samantha Benitz. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Samantha_Benitz.
I'm Miara Jennings, and you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Miara Jennings. Thanks, guys.
Hi, I'm Erica Jaye Green. You can find me on all social media at Erica Jaye Green.
I love that.
Jaye. I'd like to sit in your seat
tried
and
to
just
do
be
me.
you next time.
We should all
Put a
switch
little
roles
wig on.
sometime.
Yeah.
I want to do yours because I want to do the underscore.
I want to say the Twitter finger. That's the only word that had an accent on it.
I'd like to read the whole thing in a southern accent.
Why are we crazy? Are we so on?
We just might be. Would you like me to do it in a southern accent?
Go ahead,
Mark your
Brandon.
calendars, people, because starting Thursday, March
That is
24th on
not
ABC, it's southern for me.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.